The purpose of this video is to put a name on this emptiness, this flatness of our lives these days. You know, most people don't lose happiness as they get older. They lose the skill of being alive. And the thing is, we're never really taught that this can happen. Losing the skill of being alive? Who ever heard of such a thing? What kind of idea is that? How do you lose the skill to be alive? I'll tell you. You get comfortable. As we've gotten older, we've learned to do things better. Everything we do is easier now than when we were young. When you're young, you're new at life, and you really don't know how to do much of anything really well. But after you've been doing it for a few decades, you get good at things, and you know how it is. The more you do something, the easier it becomes, the less stressful it is. How many times have you started a new job in the beginning, you're totally stressed out, and within a year, you're pretty comfortable, and within 5 years, you're totally comfortable, and within 10 years, you could do that job with your eyes closed. If you can find something to do that's going to demand all of your focus, let me tell you, that is going to be excellent for introducing novelty into your life. For me, the most recent big thing was learning to paramotor. I've only been doing it 6 months. Staying in a comfortable place is not going to ruin your life, but it's going to shrink it. I mean, do you remember when you were young and you had such zest for life and you felt like excitement? I mean, when you think back to being a child, you can remember the excitement that you felt about your life, and you may wonder, where did that go? How come I don't feel that way these days? We get comfortable with life, and life stops challenging us. We won't think about it, but we put things, our life, in cruise control. And we start making the safe choices, you know, because we're thinking, oh, well, I mean, I can't take risk because I have responsibility. Some of you may think, isn't that feeling of flatness or dullness just part of getting older? I am not a therapist. I'm a registered nurse. I'm not trying to fix you. I've got enough work on my hands just trying to fix myself. So that's what these videos are not about. Me trying to fix you, or me saying, this is your problem. I don't know what your problem is, but I have a very good sneaking suspicion that many of your problems might be the same as many of my problems, and the guy next door, and the guy over here. You know, I think we all share a lot in common as human beings. Yeah, we're all different. We come from different backgrounds, different cultures, different educations. We were brought up differently. All that's true. But when it boils down to it, I think we're probably more similar than we are different. You know, don't we all want to be loved? Don't we all want to be heard? Don't we all want to matter to somebody, our friends and loved ones? Don't we all want to be remembered fondly when we're gone? This is what I'm talking about. We're not that different. I think it can be safe to say we don't age out of life. We age out of aliveness. And we get this ideal situation, and we don't want to take risk anymore. We don't want to gamble with what we've built, what we've accomplished. So we play it safe, and that's where the aliveness escapes us. We stop stimulating our nervous system Yeah, our nervous system. Getting out of our comfort zone. Doing things that we don't normally do. Putting ourselves in different environments, in different situations. And yeah, I'm even talking about awkward situations, uncomfortable situations, situations that, I don't know, it could make you blush from embarrassment, or it can make your heart race because you're a little bit afraid. You might be afraid for your safety. You might be afraid of making a mistake. You might be afraid of embarrassing yourself. But that is a form of central nervous system stimulation, you know? We got this fight or flight thing going on inside of us. And you put yourself in that situation enough, before you know it, you've got some excitement back in your life. Now, you want to do it wisely, and you don't want to go overboard, and you don't want to necessarily put yourself in danger. You don't want to injure yourself. You don't want to hurt yourself or anybody else trying to get young again or be young again. That's not what I'm trying to tell you need to do. As a matter of fact, I'm not trying to tell you need to do anything. I'm just trying to explain or put a name on this feeling that you might be having. I really don't think it's that uncommon. I know I've had it on and off throughout the years, and I've addressed it in different ways, and I'll be glad to share that with you and tell you about it. Most recently, I've taken up paramotoring. Now, don't get me wrong. You're going to see me doing, if you watch my channel, and I'll be lucky if you did, you're going to see me doing things like riding my electric unicycle and flying paramotors. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to make you like me. I don't need you to do what I do. There's nothing that says that what I do is right, so it's just what I choose to do. There's nothing wrong with you. You're not necessarily depressed. You're definitely not broken. You're just a little too comfortable. That nervous system is just understimulated. There's this term in the computer world called memory density. And I'm not a computer person, and those of you that are probably going to laugh at my definition of memory density. But what it amounts to is the amount of bits of data that you're able to just cram onto physical space, like a chip, perhaps, a microchip. You can look at memory density in a similar way for humans, and that is how much richness we can pack into our memories. Think back to when you were a child, your memories of the most exciting, fun moments in your childhood. I mean, that is memory density. Those are memory dense moments. When you were a kid, everything was new. So when you did something fun, it was super exciting because it was new. So more words. I just like to define words, mostly because I hate the thought of using words that, just are not common. And, I hate it when people use words that are unusual, and they're words that most people wouldn't understand. Now, don't let me, don't think that I'm trying to insult your intelligence, because chances are you're a hell of a lot smarter than me. But again, I want to define some words that I think are a little bit uncommon and not often used. Novelty. So when Corona came around and it was a big deal, it was known as the novel virus. And even back then, for myself, I'm like, I had to look that up. And that's when I really came to understand that novel means new. So if something has novelty, it has newness. So in some sense, that is what we're looking for. We're looking for things with novelty. We need to add some novelty back into our lives. Now, am I saying that you need to learn how to ride the electric unicycle and fly paramotor? Hell no. You don't need to be like George, because George is not so god-awful perfect. There are things that I like to do, and I love doing them, and I hope that I'm able to do them both when I'm 90 years old. Wouldn't that be something to see a 90-year-old Merce George riding his electric unicycle and flying paramotor? It could happen. So without learning electric unicycling and paramotoring, how are you going to bring novelty back into your life? By introducing a little friction back into your life. What do I mean by that? Well, you need to put yourself in a less comfortable situation. When you feel uncomfortable, that's friction. When you feel embarrassed, that's friction. When you feel scared, that's friction. You probably never thought of friction as being a requirement for life, but hey, now you know. Friction, baby. Life is about friction. Aliveness is about friction. You can tell I'm a dad. Do y'all remember The Lion King, the circle of life? It's funny how so many things relate to one another with regard to the circle of life. I've always told my kids about getting out of your comfort zone. You got to get out of your comfort zone if you're going to grow, if you're going to learn, if you're going to expand your mind. You got to introduce friction. Think about doing something different. Think about putting yourself in a situation you normally would not. Join a club of folks that like to do the same things you like to do. Volunteer to work in a different place. Learn something new. Learn something new. Something that maybe could help somebody. Do things differently. Go to different places. Put yourself in the environment of different people. Learn about new things. Try new things. Staying in a comfortable place is not going to ruin your life, but it's going to shrink it. Find something to do that's going to force you to be present. Now, again, don't do what George does. But if you can find something to do that's going to demand all of your attention, all of your focus, and, again, I don't want you to get hurt, but if you can find something to do that's going to demand all of your focus, let me tell you, that is going to be excellent for introducing novelty into your life. For me, the most recent big thing was learning to paramotor. I've only been doing it 6 months. And let me tell you, when I started, I was scared. I was scared because it's dangerous. Not only can you fall out of the sky, if you do get in the sky, but you're strapping a motor, a gas motor and propeller to your back. So that thing's spinning, 5,000 revolutions a minute. You could chop things up, including yourself. It's happened before. It doesn't happen all the time, and it usually happens when somebody is failing to adhere to safeties for which they were taught. Find something that requires your full attention when you do it. That's great for introducing novelty, something new in your life. And also, that is going to be memory dense. When you think about yourself doing that, it's going to be rich with feelings and emotions, and it's like, oh yeah, I remember exactly how that made me feel. I was excited, or I was scared, or I was worried. That is feeling alive. That is, I think it's feeling young too. because we can almost equate that in our mind when we feel excited. It reminds us, it's easy to remember what it felt like when we were 14 and we did such and such for the first time. The skill of being alive can be relearned. You're not broken. You're not too late. You can do anything that you set your mind to. You just got to decide it's what you want. Make it happen. Baby steps too. You don't have to make huge leaps. You don't have to make huge changes. Just introduce a little novelty, a little something new, a little something different into your life, a little bit at a time. See how it goes. Let me know how it goes. I care. I want to know. I'm going to ride a little bit. I feel like stretching my legs. I need some novelty, so I'll probably be recording too, so join me. We'll talk some more about this and other things. Being out here in nature, surrounded by, hey, I'm sorry folks, but this is my religion, nature. Everything you see around us, the wind, the animals, the leaves, that's what I believe in. So on this channel, you're gonna see me doing things like I've mentioned before, riding my electric unicycles and flying paramotors. Don't get me wrong, I am not making videos about riding electric unicycles and flying paramotors. I love it, both of those things, I love them enough to do that. I could focus all of my attention and make my videos all about those things. But honestly, as much as I love those things, I just don't feel like they're as important as what I've chosen to talk about in my videos. And that is everything that we experience as living human beings. Our trials, our tribulations, our wins, our losses, our lessons, our mistakes, the feelings that we have about anything and everything, and the emotions that these feelings bring up in us. I'm trying to put a name on all of these feelings. I'm trying to name them so that we can talk about them and understand them. Hey, those of you that enjoyed the video, I appreciate you watching. Since we are talking about life like we do here on the Merce George channel, there's another video that I'd like to bring to your attention, and that is on the topic of this precious life that we are living and how short it is and how little time that we actually have here on the planet. I mean, I believe this planet is like billions of years old, and we're here for like 90 years, each of us, 90 years compared to billions. We're just here like a fraction of time, so little time. Make the most of it. Don't waste any of it. That's what this video is about. Enjoy it. Y'all comment if you want to, and I love hearing from you, so bring it, people. Until next time, Merce George out. Bye.